In that probable cause affidavit, investigators detail Kohberger's movements before and after the murders. News Channel 7's Abby Davis joins us now with a few more specifics as to how police tracked him.
Well, Brian, you just mentioned investigators were able to build a very detailed timeline of events, but let's start with the morning of the stabbings, November 13th. Kohberger's car was seen driving past the house on King Road where the murders happened several times, something Moscow Police Department Corporal Brett Payne, who wrote the PCA, says isn't common in a neighborhood where traffic is usually very light early in the morning. According to the affidavit, a car matching Kohberger's, a white Hyundai Elantra, was seen on camera at 2:53 a.m. on November 13th, leaving Pullman, Washington, heading toward Moscow. That's about a 15-minute drive. That same Elantra was picked up again at 3:26 a.m. heading west on Indian Hills Drive, then 2 minutes later heading west on Steiner at Highway 95, which is less than a mile from the house on King Road where the murders happened. Starting at 3:29, the Elantra was seen passing the house 3 times. At 4:04, the Elantra turned around at a nearby apartment complex before going back and making a 3-point turn onto Queen Road. 16 minutes later, at 4:20, Kohberger's white Elantra is seen on camera speeding away from the area, heading south. About an hour later, at 5:25, several traffic cameras in Pullman and on the Washington State University campus capture the Elantra returning. Fast forward 12 days, on November 25th, the Moscow Police Department asked area law enforcement to look for a white Hyundai Elantra. Then, on November 29th, WSU police found a 2015 Hyundai Elantra registered to a student, 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger, a graduate student studying criminology. His car was found about a half hour later at his WSU apartment complex in Pullman. His driver's license picture and information also matched the roommate's description of the man she saw in the house the morning of the murders. That pushed Moscow police to look into Kohberger's cell phone data, a number they got after pulling him over for a traffic violation back in August, before the murders. At 2:42 a.m. on November 13th, Kohberger's phone pinged at his apartment in Pullman. 5 minutes later, that phone left the apartment, traveling south through Pullman before it's turned off at 2:47. The phone doesn't ping again until 4:48 on Highway 95 south of Moscow, near Blaine. It then traveled south on 95 to Genesee, then west to Uniontown, and then north back to Pullman, where a white sedan was picked up on traffic cameras at 5:27, taking a roundabout way to his final destination. Again, cell phone records matched the movement of the Hyundai Elantra around the time of the murders. It didn't ping at the King Road house at the time of the murders, but investigators believe that's because he turned his phone off. And not only that, Brian, but Kohberger's phone pinged again hours after the murders happened at the King Road house.
Yeah, looks like he was back at about 9:15 in the morning,
yes,
and then made it back to his apartment in Pullman by 9:30. Possibly returning to the scene of the crime to see if anybody had noticed at that point if anything had happened. Interesting. Also interesting, the dozen times that he'd been in the area prior to November 13th.
Yes.
So hopefully some more details will be coming up to kind of explain that connection, how he picked this spot. We'll see how that plays out. Thank you very much, Abby.